Good morning guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So this is our Bitcoin morning update. So straight over to the charts. Yeah, so you can see obviously we've got our levels. We tried to have a little break up towards the top, but we're getting rejected from this sort of trend line I've got in here. Obviously I keep saying every video, this trend line is only a rough estimate, even though it looks like it's come up to it quite close. This could be give or take $100 each side really. It's a macro trend line drawn in on a very large time frame. So yeah, but that being said though, obviously if we get sort of above it and we get above this range to be clear, to be like very sure that we're through wherever you want to draw the trend line, so around 9,800, then I think basically that's a pretty well, it's a pretty dangerous area, to be honest. Obviously getting to there and getting above there, so as you're getting above 9,800, I mean, I think that does obviously start to make things look extremely bullish. But it is an inflection point in the market, so it is one of those times, and we've got month end as well. And what I am expecting from the market at the moment, with being month end, and obviously what we've got going on price wise, is I'm expecting like some big moves, some big sort of scammy moves, to try and manipulate the month end closers. So I mean, don't be surprised if we don't actually get a big move up, even maybe above here, then for the closers, and then we then sort of sell off next month. I mean, that may happen pretty quick. So we've sort of got a doji, although it won't actually look like a doji on the end of the month, because that is the close that they're trying to manipulate. Or the alternative is they try and dump us down, so like our monthly close doesn't look obviously doesn't look as bullish. So so basically just be prepared for some sort of manipulation in the closers. That's sort of like what I'm trying to say. We've also got going on is a pretty much quite a clear pennant going on. So if you disregard high, I mean, I don't know where you want to draw it, whether you want to draw it there or whether you want to draw it more down here. If you want to sort of disregard the month end element of and just ignore that, you can see we're getting basically towards the top of this trend line here. So basically we've had some very easy trades. I know you guys watching my videos the past couple of days, 2 or 3 days, we caught some pretty obvious moves to play out, and that is all great. And this is what trading's like. This is what trading's about. There are moves that are more obvious than others, and then there's times when the market isn't so obvious and you just have to wait. This is one of those times when you have to wait, even just based on this formation here. We sort of got to wait. Based on the larger time frame formation, we've got to wait. Based on what could happen because it's the last day of the month and the closures, we've got to wait. And then also, as you guys know, this TD sequential on the weekly, which we've got the weekly 9 coming in on the weekly on the TD sequential. So that also means we kind of got to wait to see what happens. There are a lot of bullish elements in the market at the moment. Like stochastic wise, level wise, oscillators wise, things like that. There's lots of on larger time frames. There's a lot of very bullish things playing out at the moment. So we probably over the next month maybe just clear this whole 10k range and make our way up to the high regions, make our way basically over here and then back up to like the 11.5 region and start basically playing on the next level for Bitcoin. But in that meantime, there's a lot of things short term that could be that can happen to try and sort of scam people out of positions, just make things difficult for people. I mean, you just got to look at let's not start moving lines around. We've got to sort of look at like what happened here. This move down and basically all the way back up, and then if we do go bullish and break up, I mean, what was this? This was just craziness. I mean, obviously I know obviously we had a big move in the stock market as well. So obviously that's basically a lot of what it was. But yeah, scammed a lot of people out of positions, especially down that move down there. So yeah, this is sort of the time when the last couple of days, obviously once we confirmed this as a higher low, and then we sort of confirm this zone, then we could basically say, right, okay, if we break 9k, we're going to move up to here, and if we obviously get up to there, we're likely to move up to the next one. And then also, in all fairness, like I've been saying, right around the 9,800 is where we'll probably find resistance, but is probably where we can target higher than where we are now. So you might think, oh well, isn't that just the next easy move up? I mean, but this isn't necessarily an easy move up, because I mean, you can see we get wicks up into here. We can get a wick up here. We can trade there. That is what I think is likely to happen. But I mean, it's anyone's guess as to whether it's a wick and a massive rejection, or whether it's a wick and a continuation. And I mean, in all fairness, I mean, the best case for the bulls, I think the most likely scenario for the bulls is a wick up here, then we still consolidate around here, play it out, and then eventually sort of break up. So yeah, basically we've had the easy trades within this formation, and we're at so many levels of resistance: horizontal, this trend line, end of month, TD sequential, weekly 9. We're at so many levels of resistance. So it is a case of, if Bitcoin can't overcome it, I think we're definitely set for a move to the bottom of the range, which is only $9,000. So this is the bottom of this. It's not far. And also, I mean, if we then continue and we do break below here, or even if we get down to the mid 8,500s, I know I'm drawing this as a pennant at the moment, but if we do get down to here, it will start to look more like a descending triangle. So we could then maybe see another bounce off there, round to up towards this resistance level, and then back down. So there's many ways this can play out, and it definitely isn't certain now, and it's definitely not a time. This is a time when, if you trade, you basically are gambling. You're sort of like, you're putting a lot of money on red or black, hoping that you get the big move up, or that we get rejected and the big move down. There's not a lot of real edge at the moment in the market where we are at the time we are, with some of the indicators that we've got going on. What I do want to show you guys, I mean, I know I had this up here. So this is another sort of pennant, similar to what we've got going on here in Bitcoin. And as you can see, we can break out of it, get the nice move out of the pennant, come back and retest the pennant. And bear in mind, the retest of a pennant, due to its descending line nature, which obviously I don't need to point out to you guys, due to the retest, due to the descending nature, we can actually get lower prices than the breakout level, and it be the level to buy then for the actual move up. As you can see what I've drawn on here, basically this was obviously all drawn well in advance. This was sort of like, if we break above here, then we get to move up. So there could be some very easy macro plays here based on the sort of common thing that happens, that has literally just happened in this market. This is a very common occurrence. You break out, you retest, and then it's onward, you catapult upwards. I mean, this is a lot of how markets work. This is why they're called ORNS or OSNR, old support new resistance, or old resistance new support levels. So often you get them on horizontals, but this is obviously a trend line one, a pennant one. So it could be very obvious in Bitcoin. We could play the same thing out. I mean, we're not as mature in this formation. I mean, this is another thing that makes me think, on the basis we could be forming a descending triangle, or we could be forming just this pennant, that we could easily get the move down here, either to here for the descending triangle, or either to here for the pennant. And I mean, if we are forming a pennant and we get down to here and then down to here, it does look very bearish for continuation of the move. This is partly why it's so dangerous at the moment to be involved in a trade. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, if we do break up out of this pennant, to even up to like this 10,600 level, even if we just wick out and take these highs, it would be very healthy, and it would be a very nice trade for us to then, if we come back down, test the pennant. And then what you would wait for as a sensible trader, who's not a financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, you would then basically wait for the confirmed bounce. So if it happens around here, I would then say, when we then take out 9,800 the next time, bearing in mind you've bought some nice 9,500 Bitcoin, you've got a nice position, and you've got some good edge here. You're playing for a big move, so you've got a nice position here. We can then break above 9,800. That's your confirmation that we're bouncing off the top of this pennant, and then then basically you buy there, and then wherever we top out in the wick and the move when we break out before, let's say for example it's here, we don't quite make it to the 10,600, or even if we do make it, wherever it is guys, wherever, assuming obviously we break above these horizontals, so maybe it's around here, so wherever it is, you buy once we confirm over here, and then you can add to your position once we then break over the wherever we top out on our initial break, and then the sky's the limit. I mean, this is basically what I've drawn on here. It is exactly the same thing. This is a definite potential scenario for the resolution of this this pennant, if it is a pennant, if it is to be a pennant, and onwards and upwards. And you can see this has been drawn on well before this happened. I basically drew this line on when we were coming down here, and I was like, well, if we break back into here, then obviously we can break down and break through. That's what I was looking at. We had the breakout, and then I drew the line and said if we break down here, obviously get back into the pennant, we come straight through, but we didn't. We bounced off the pennant, and then the line here was drawn above this high, and I was like, well, if we break back above this high, expect acceleration to the upside. And this could be a very this is trading 101. This is textbook trading 101. This is obviously happening over a period of time. Look, we've had the first breakout of here, the first big breakout on the 20th of May. We're now on the 29th of May, so this is 9 days. So this is sort of patient trading, but this could very much happen here, and this is like I'm saying, this is textbook trading. We break out of the pennant, we come back and test it, we break above, and then, so once we sort of confirm sort of like this level, obviously higher, then you can buy here. This is sort of akin to the level that I was talking about, the 9,800 level. You can buy in, and then when we break out wherever the top of the level is, once we break above there, buy again, average on side to your position, and then yeah, just run Bitcoin to 20k basically. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So what I'm saying is, at the moment, guys, we've had the easy short-term trades. These are short-term trades. Look at this, a movement within a short-term pennant in a massive, obviously, well, price history. We're getting to the top of this level here now. This isn't really a time to be playing for these small moves anymore. We had clear, defined entries and targets and stops when we had these trades. These are easy trades, but we don't really have a lot of clear defined action here now. So I mean, the play guys, is to see whether we break down. I mean, if we break down, we'll go to well, we're on the lower term time frame, so we'll just have a look at this. The play at the moment obviously is if we start closing 4 hour candles and we lose this area, then I mean, if like obviously it's the same as when we were on the way down. We lose this area, we are looking at least a test down to here, down to 9,200, and then potentially we can curl back up. But if we do not hold that area, then yeah, we are basically gonna be looking at the next support either being the bottom of the pennant trend line or here. And obviously this is very important, because if we get support here and move back up, it paints a whole different picture to if we basically break down here. And even if we bounce off here and come back up, because at this point we look like a descending triangle. At this point we look like a nice bullish continuation pattern on a pennant, so a symmetrical triangle. So yeah, this is what we're looking at, guys. So yeah, we'll have a look at 12-hour stakes, because these are our Bitcoin cheat codes. So yeah, you can see once these were going up, this was when I was most confident we were getting these moves as well. Obviously combined with the lower time frame oscillators as well. But yeah, these obviously I always say they can top out, we can hold above here, we can keep going, but they are getting a bit toppy. So yeah, and if we just want to look at the monthly, because obviously this is what is closing today. This is the candle that they're maybe going to try and manipulate. So you can see we're right above it. So if they can close this candle above here, like I said, they could. If the whales that want to sell a lot of Bitcoin, if they manipulate this candle just a bit higher, so we get a monthly close clear above this trend line, and this is only around 10,000, it's not even 10,500 to get a close clear above here. That might seem like a lot because we're currently trading at 9,500, but we know Bitcoin can move when it wants to move. But if they can close it up here, they can fake out they can generate a lot of liquidity. This will be a massive macro liquidity pool, so they could potentially dump a lot of Bitcoin, or that could just be it. That could be the moon. This could be the trigger, and then they'll just buy. We'll never really look back until like we get to about 16k before we get like a retrace to like around 11 or 12 or 11. But hey, we'll look at that when we get there. But But yeah, all that being said, the opposite can happen. They can dump us. I mean, they don't need to dump us. I mean, again, it's another $1,000. And I mean, I'm thinking we could see $1,000 move. They could dump us. This could be a very horrible, bearish looking doji candle. We could be back at this level, looking very obviously like we're gonna basically come back here. Maybe, well, yeah. I mean, this is the macro. Obviously, this is the pennant. But yeah, even come back, just come back lower basically. Even if we try and find support around here. But yeah, so there's a lot of things to consider at the moment. I mean, if you've made some good trades, some of those good short-term entries over the past few days, now is probably the time just to kind of sit and wait and just sit and wait and watch what basically is going to happen over the yeah, with the month-end close, with this weekly TD9, with some yeah, I mean, you do have to look at this and think it would be perfectly normal for us to come back down, even if it's just to come back down to the mid-range and then push back up. But anyway, that's all I've really got today, guys. We're not going to look so much at the lower time frames because I feel like that's just, you're just going to not really see the forest for the trees. This is the forest and the trees are like, these are the trees. I mean, this is just, it's slightly irrelevant at the moment now. So yeah, that being said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, yeah, and I will have some more videos for you later today.